In our previous videos, we have studied testing of transformer by direct loading and by OC and SC tests. However, these methods are not suitable to determine the temperature rise characteristics of transformer. In practice, it is very important to check whether the temperature rise of transformer is within permissible limits or not. This can be done by conducting Sumpner's or back-to-back test, which we will study in this video. Sumpner's or back-to-back test of transformer, it is also called as heat run test. This heat run test is conducted on transformer to determine its temperature rise characteristics. Now, if you want to determine the temperature rise characteristics, the simplest method is we have to apply rated voltage across primary. Means here V1 is the rated voltage applied to the transformer and we have to connect load across secondary. And the load is adjusted such that full load current flows through primary and secondary. So, this I2 is full load current and I1 is also full load current. And after that you have to record the temperature of transformer at certain interval of time. Say for example, after every 1 hour. Means we have to load the transformer at full load and after every hour we have to note down the temperature of transformer. Now, when we use the transformer means when the transformer is loaded, losses will occur in transformer. These losses, you know that copper loss and iron loss. Now, because of these losses, temperature of transformer increases. So, if you plot the characteristics on x-axis, if you plot time in hours and on y-axis the temperature rise of transformer, then as time increases, temperature of transformer also increases and then it will reach to certain final value after a long period of time. So, normally this time period at which the temperature rise stabilizes, it is about 48 hours. Means we have to normally load the transformer at full load up to 48 hours. And we have to note down the temperature of transformer after every hour and then we can plot the temperature rise characteristics. So, you can see that the temperature rise characteristics is exponential and after about 48 hours the temperature rise stabilizes, means the temperature it will remain almost constant. So, this temperature rise we have to measure with the help of heat run test. We have seen that temperature rise of transformer can be determined by actually loading the transformer at full load and by measuring the temperature rise after regular time interval. But this direct loading test, it is not suitable for large capacity transformers. The reason is it may not be possible to arrange large load in laboratory. For example, suppose the rating of transformer, say it is 500 kVA, then you will need a load of 500 kilowatt. It is very difficult to arrange such a large load in laboratory for testing of transformer. Another drawback of direct loading is the method is not economical because large amount of power will be wasted during testing. For example, again if the rating is 500 kVA, power consumed for testing will be 500 kilowatt and this power is required for 48 hours. and therefore large amount of energy will be wasted for testing of transformer, and therefore direct loading test is not suitable for determination of temperature rise of large capacity transformers. Now, the main reason of temperature rise in transformer is due to losses, that is iron loss and copper loss, which is taking place in transformer, and therefore in Sumponers or back-to-back test without actually loading the transformer, means the transformer is not actually loaded, but a condition is created where core loss at rated voltage and copper loss at rated current takes place in transformer. So, here the transformer is not actually loaded, and therefore there is no need of large size load, and the power consumed for testing it is also less. It is only equal to copper loss plus iron loss in transformer, and therefore for determination of temperature rise we have to use Sumponers or back-to-back test, where full load condition is created without actually loading the transformer. So, such type of loading of transformer it is also called as phantom loading. So, this phantom loading it is used in Sumponers or back-to-back test. The only limitation of this Sumponers test is we need two identical transformers for conduction of test, means the transformers of same size and same voltage ratio are required to conduct the test. This is the only limitation of Sumponers or back-to-back test. We have seen that to perform Sumponers or back-to-back test, we need two identical transformers. Suppose these are the two transformers which are to be tested by Sumponers test. Let us now see the circuit diagram or connection diagram for Sumponers test. Now, in Sumponers test, primary windings of two transformers are connected in parallel, and the windings are supplied at rated voltage and frequency. Now, suppose the primary side is HV side. So, primary terminals are marked by capital letters. Now, we have to connect two primaries in parallel, and therefore A1 are connected together. Similarly, A2 must be connected together, so that two primary windings are connected in parallel, and these two windings must be connected to rated voltage, and therefore the windings are connected to single phase AC supply through an auto transformer. With the help of auto transformer, we can adjust the voltage across primary to its rated value, means the voltmeter reading on primary side it must be rated voltage on primary side. Then ammeter is also connected on primary side, which measures input current, and wattmeter W1 is connected to measure input power. Here you have to note that W1 it is LPF type, means low power factor type. Then the two secondaries of transformer are connected with their polarities in phase opposition. Now, here as the secondary side is LV side, secondary terminals are marked with small letters. Now, as we have to connect two secondaries in phase opposition, A2 is connected to A2, and finally we have to connect A1 to A1. But before that, let us see what is the voltage across the terminal A1 of transformer 1 and terminal A1 of transformer 2. Means what is the voltage between these two terminals? Let us check that. So here at a particular instant, if this terminal small a1, if it is positive, obviously at the same instant a2 will be negative. Now for second transformer, at the same instant terminal a2 will be negative and a1 will be positive. Now we have to check what is the voltage between these two terminals. So we will trace this loop. So if you trace from A1 to A2, you are moving from positive to negative, means there is voltage drop. And for second transformer, you are moving from A2 to A1, that is from negative to positive, means there is voltage rise. Means these two voltages, these are in phase opposition. And as the transformers are identical, the voltage across secondary of transformer 1 and the voltage across secondary of transformer 2, these two voltages are equal. And therefore, as these two voltages are equal and opposite, the resultant voltage here, it will be equal to 0. So if voltmeter, if it is connected across these two terminals, then this voltmeter should indicate 0 volt. Then only we can say that the polarity markings are correct, or the connections are according to the correct polarity. If the polarity markings are wrong, then this voltmeter will show the voltage which is 2 times the voltage across secondary of transformer. And in that case, we had to check the polarity once again and we had to make the connections again. Now the secondary side is connected again to a single phase AC supply, again through an auto transformer. This transformer, it is called as a regulating transformer. Now the function of this regulating transformer is to inject the voltage in the secondary winding. So with the help of this auto transformer, which is a regulating transformer, we can inject required voltage on the secondary side. Now here you can see that one switch S is provided here. Now when you can close the switch S, you can close this switch S only if the voltmeter reading is equal to 0. If voltmeter reading is not equal to 0, the meaning is your connections are wrong. In that case, you cannot close the switch S, because if the connections are wrong, it will result in dead short circuit, and therefore you cannot close the switch S if the voltmeter reading is not equal to 0. On the secondary side also, there is one voltmeter, ammeter and wattmeter. Here you can note that wattmeter W2, it is UPF type, means unity power factor type, whereas on primary side it is low power factor type. Now suppose the switch on secondary side, it is kept open, means the injected EMF on secondary side, it is equal to 0, means no EMF is injected in secondary circuit. The switch on primary side, it is closed, and the voltage across primary winding is adjusted to rated voltage with the help of auto transformer. Let us now see what will be the current on secondary side. Now here the injected EMF is 0 and the two secondaries are connected in phase opposition, means EMF induced in secondary of transformer 1 and secondary of transformer 2, these two EMFs are opposite to each other, and therefore no current can flow in secondary circuit. Means here on secondary side I2 is equal to 0. Now you know that if I2 is equal to 0, the condition is equivalent to no load condition. Means here the transformer is not loaded and primary is connected to rated voltage supply. So this condition is similar to the open circuit test which we have already studied. And therefore, what is the current drawn by transformer? So current drawn by transformer 1, it will be the no load current which is I0, and current drawn by transformer 2, it is again no load current which is equal to I0. And therefore, the ammeter connected on this input side, it will show a reading which is equal to 2 times I0. Means this ammeter will indicate 2 times no load current drawn by each transformer. Now in open circuit test, you know that the wattmeter reading, it is equal to the iron loss or core loss in transformer. So here core loss will occur in transformer 1 as well as in transformer 2, and therefore W1, this wattmeter, it shows the core loss which is taking place in both the transformers. And this core loss, it is of rated value because the winding is connected to rated voltage supply. Means W1 will be equal to 2 times W0, where W0, it is rated core loss in one transformer, and therefore core loss or iron loss in each transformer will be equal to 1/2 W1. Means from primary side wattmeter, you will get the core loss taking place in transformer 1 plus core loss which is taking place in transformer 2. As the two transformers are identical, core loss in both transformers will be equal, and therefore W1, it is 2 times W0. Let us now see what happens if EMF is injected on secondary side. To inject the EMF, first of all you have to close the switch S, and then you have to close the mains switch on secondary side. Now we can adjust the injected EMF with the help of regulating transformer. So by changing the position of regulating transformer, we can inject the required EMF. The injected EMF is to be adjusted such that the ammeter on secondary side, it shows full load secondary current. Means now the current flowing on secondary side, it is secondary current I2 at full load or at rated load. Now you know that when current flows through secondary, then current I2 dash flows on primary side. Means if current through secondary, if it is full load current, current through primary, that is I1, it is also the current at full load. Means now the full load current is flowing through both the windings, that is secondary winding and primary winding. But the current on primary side, it is confined to this dotted path only. Means the current on primary side, it flows through this closed loop, and this full load current is not reflected on the input side. Means if you consider this side, then condition will remain same. Means the current shown by ammeter is again 2 times the no load current, even if the current flowing through primary is full load current. Similarly, the wattmeter reading W1, it is equal to 2 times the iron loss in transformer, even if the full load current is flowing on primary side. because the current is confined to this dotted path only. So this condition is similar to the short circuit, means this side it is short circuited, this side is short circuited, and as the primary side is short circuited, the voltage which is to be injected from the secondary side, this voltage is very small, means very small voltage or very small EMF is to be injected on secondary side to circulate full load current in primary as well as in secondary. So this is equivalent to the condition of short circuit test. In short circuit test, one of the winding is short circuited and other winding is connected to small voltage such that full load current flows through primary and secondary. And you know that in short circuit test, wattmeter shows the copper loss taking place in transformer, and therefore in this case the wattmeter W2 it shows copper loss in transformer 1 as well as in transformer 2. Means if the current through primary and secondary, if it is full load current, then W2 will be equal to 2 times Wc, where Wc it is the copper loss in transformer at full load or at rated load in one transformer, whereas 2 times Wc it is the copper loss in transformer 1 plus transformer 2, because two transformers are identical, and therefore wattmeter reading on secondary side it shows copper loss in transformer 1 plus transformer 2 if the EMF injected is such that the current in primary and secondary it is equal to full load current. In back-to-back test, the voltage applied to the transformer is rated voltage. At the same time, the transformer is fully loaded. Means current through primary as well as secondary is equal to the full load current. And therefore, the test can be utilized to determine the maximum temperature rise of a transformer. So this back-to-back test it can be continued for a long time period, say for a period of 48 hours, and at regular time intervals we can note down what is the temperature rise, and we can plot the temperature rise curve and we can determine the maximum temperature rise of a transformer. This temperature rise should be within permissible limits as per specifications of transformer. Now the advantage of back-to-back test is here the power required for testing it is only equal to losses, because the input power from primary side it is equal to rated iron loss, whereas input power from secondary side it is equal to rated copper loss, and therefore power required for testing it is very small, which is only equal to losses in two transformers. The another advantage of this back-to-back test is we can also determine the efficiency of transformer. Now the total losses at full load it is equal to 1/2 W1 plus 1/2 W2, where W1 it is wattmeter reading on primary side, whereas W2 it is the wattmeter reading on secondary side of transformer. And if you know the losses, you can determine the percentage efficiency using output power, which is kVA into cos phi divided by output power plus iron loss plus copper loss into 100. So we can also calculate the efficiency of transformer at full load or at any other load from the readings of back-to-back test. Let us now solve one example on back-to-back test. it is given that two similar 250 kVA single phase transformers gave the following results when tested by back-to-back method. Means the transformers are tested by back-to-back method and kVA rating of each transformer is 250 kVA. Then the readings of back-to-back test, mains wattmeter W1 5 kilowatt, means on primary side wattmeter reading W1 it is 5 kilowatt and secondary side wattmeter W2 it is 7.5 kilowatt. So W2 it is given as 7.5 kilowatt and at full load current, means current through winding it is full load current. So W2 shows copper loss at full load. Find the efficiency of individual transformer, means you have to find the efficiency of each transformer at 75% load, means percentage of loading X is 0.75 at 0.8 lagging power factor, means cos phi is equal to 0.8 lagging, and you have to determine the efficiency when load is 75%. So this you have to calculate. So here the rated iron loss of each transformer, it will be equal to Wi, and Wi must be equal to W1 upon 2. So W1 is 5, so 5 divided by 2, so iron loss in each transformer it is 2.5 kilowatt. Now similarly, rated copper loss at full load of each transformer, which is denoted by Wc. So this Wc must be equal to W2 divided by 2. So it is equal to 7.5 divided by 2, which is 3.75 kilowatt. So iron loss is 2.5 kilowatt and copper loss at full load is 3.75 kilowatt. So now we can calculate the percentage efficiency. Now at X% load, the percentage efficiency is given by X kVA cos phi upon X kVA cos phi plus Wi plus X square Wc into 100. Now here the value of X is 0.75, kVA is 250, cos phi is 0.8, Wi is 2.5 and Wc is 3.75. So substituting all the values and solving, we will get efficiency at 75% load and at 0.8 power factor lagging, it is equal to 97.02%. In this video, we have studied the important method for testing of transformer, which is Sumpner's or back-to-back test. The test is also called as heat run test because it is used for determination of temperature rise of transformer. In our next video, we will study parallel operation of transformers. Thank you.